If you're thinking about moving to or in and around Irvine, the idea of possibly buying might have popped up for you. But the answer of is it better to rent or buy isn't as simple as it used to be. Today, I'm going to teach you what might be best for you. So first, to understand what's best for you, we want to understand what both mean. So renting in Irvine means you're going to be spending on average roughly $3,000 a month. And the benefits of this is rent on average is going to cost you a little bit less than a mortgage would be in the same house. On top of that, you also have flexibility with it only normally being about 12 to 15 months for a lease. And on top of that, you're not going to have to pay for any maintenance. Normally your landlord or the community is going to pay for that. But the downside is you're going to have no equity built and rent raises every single year. Now, if you're looking to buy a home in Irvine, the average price point is going to be around 1.3 million. So not too low. But the benefits of this is you're going to be building equity. The mortgage is fixed, so it's not going to go up or down like rent is, even though rent's normally going to go up. But you're going to have a higher upfront cost, and most likely you're going to have a higher monthly cost as well. So to see what this means for you, we first got to break down the numbers. So let's say you rented at $3,500 a month. That would be $42,000 a year down the drain. And if you bought that $1.3 million home with 10% down, you're going to have to pay $130,000 up front. And your mortgage is roughly going to be $7,500 a month. So just about $3,000 more than rent. But your home value is going to appreciate 4 to 6% yearly. And for context, I'm using a little bit cheaper of a rent because when you're renting, you want to spend as little as possible. When you buy a home, you obviously understand the benefits there afterwards. But that's important to understand. But say you went with that choice and had a little bit higher of a monthly cost. After 5+ years, you're going to be looking at a $1.5+ million house. So $200,000 in equity. So with that in mind, short-term renting is a little bit easier. You're going to pay a little bit less and it's going to be a lot more flexibility. But with buying a home, you might have a little bit more discomfort now, but in the long run, it's going to be super beneficial. So what's better for you? Number one, if you can't comfortably afford to buy a home, don't even think about doing it. I'm going to be the first one to tell you that you shouldn't buy a home if you can't comfortably afford it. Number one is you need to make sure you're comfortable with payments. But number two is if you're looking to be here for maybe not too long and kind of suss it out, I would definitely recommend renting because in the short term, it's definitely more beneficial. And if you're someone who maybe doesn't want to save up a bunch of money or have to pay property taxes, renting is also going to be beneficial for you. But if you're someone who wants to live in Irvine for 5+ years, buying is going to be by far the most beneficial choice that you have. That way for those 5 years, you're going to be building equity and you're going to have the same payments. So in 5 years, rent's probably going to be a good amount higher. But if you buy a home 5 years ago and you have your interest rate and your monthly cost, it's going to be the same for the course of the 30 or however long year loan. So the most practical way to look at this is if you're looking to live in Irvine for maybe 1 to 3 years, renting is probably going to be the better option for you, especially if you don't have the funds to buy right now. However, if you're looking to plant some roots here in Irvine and you want to be here for 5+ years, maybe you want to have your kids go through school, or maybe you really like the job here, or maybe you just love Irvine, because who doesn't? Buying a home is definitely going to be beneficial for you in the long run. At the end of the day, it's about your financial goals, and everyone's circumstance is very individual. So the best thing that you can do is talk to a professional for help. As always, I'm here to help. All of my information is in the description. So if you're thinking about buying or renting or selling, reach out to me and I'll talk to you specifically about your specific scenario. But as always, thank you for watching this week's video. I hope it showed a little bit into the idea of renting and buying and what it means for you specifically. As always, if you enjoyed this week's video, I would really appreciate you leaving a like and a comment. Let me know you did. If you really, really liked it, I'd love if you considered subscribing. That way you can see these videos every Friday on the benefits of homeownership and how to buy a home. As always, thank you so much for tuning in this week, and I hope to see you next week.